might just change the human story. How, you might ask? Well, this strange monkey-like human creature has been discovered as our closest human relative, being able to use tools much like we did, and even thought to have disposed of their dead, much like we do. They are called Homo naledi. Although their discovery was a long time ago, they began to be noticed in 2013, but their story, even though being noticed in 2013, has started to be covered in news today from September 10th to October 6th on National Geographic, CNN, CBS, NBC, BBC, New York Times, CTV, CBC, and more. Their fossils were first recognized in the Naledi Chamber in the Rising Star Cave System. They are found by cave explorers.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. They are found by cave explorers Stephen Tucker and Rick Hunter. The boys explored the cave in South Africa on October 2013. They wanted to explore uncharted areas of the cave, but they also had another idea in mind. A scientist in Johannesburg was looking for Homo naledi fossils, and the boys were hoping but doubted that they would find some. In the cave, Tucker and Hunter worked their way through a construction called Superman's Crawl. And if you will see on this picture, Superman's Crawl is right here. The reason why it's called Superman's Crawl is because the only way to get through it, because it's such a narrow shaft, was to put your arm above your head and the other one pressed close to your chest. So it's basically like Superman pose. And then after they got through the Superman's Crawl, they found themselves at a jagged rock called Dragon's Back, where they climbed up to the top. And this is where Hunter decided he was going to take a picture. And to get out of the way, Tucker eased himself into a fissure in the cave floor. His foot found a finger of rock, then another below it, then empty space. Dropping down, he found himself in a narrow vertical chute right here, and in some places less than 8 inches wide. He called Hunter to follow him, and this is where they found the most amazing fossil discovery. As you can see in this picture, the bones are everywhere. They're being pointed to, they're here, they're literally found just scattered everywhere. Lee Berger was the paleontologist that wanted cave explorers to be searching for these bones. The climbers kept eye out for their bones, and he was the first one the boys contacted when they found the bones. He wanted to find fossils so that he could shed light on the mystery of human evolution, the origin of our genes, Homo, between 2 million and 3 million years ago. During a relatively short excavation in 2013, a team created to remove the Homo naledi's bones removed over 1,550 homonin specimens. This includes 1,413 bones and 137 isolated teeth. They found enough bones to belong to over 15 individual skeletons. So how does a news story from 2013 find its way to 2015 papers? Well, I'm glad you asked. Berger has been doing research on Homo naledi, and the new discovery in this cave has led to new discoveries for himself. The chamber has not yet given up all its secrets, Berger says. There are potentially hundreds, if not thousands, of remains of Homo naledi still down there. Even though the bones were first discovered in 2013, they are still searching for more in that cave today. In 2015, the newfound bones are now just appearing on news everywhere, reaching people beyond what this story would normally reach, meaning that more people are becoming interested in this story. Berger says their discovery raises haunting questions about our deep past and about our very identity. Many mysteries remain. Some things that the Homo naledi brought to light is the possibility that we really did derive from this species. And along the lines of this species, we really did derive from a version of monkey. How is this seen? Well, here is an example of the Homo naledi skeleton. And as you can see, it's actually, even though it's incomplete, it is very human-like. So first, I'll start with the human features. So in the skull, there's a general shape of H. naledi's skull is advanced, though the brain case is less than half of a modern human. So I have a picture here showing it, comparing the Homo naledi's to a human skull. Even though the eye socket is higher and juts out more, and the jaw juts out more than a human skull, the brain case is actually very rounded and similar to that of the humans, indicating that the Homo naledi had an advanced brain for its era. The palms, wrists, and thumbs are human-like, suggesting tool use. So here, I have a picture of the Homo Lati's hand compared to your hand. And you might be looking at that thinking that looks nothing like a human hand because the fingers are so long. But if you go like this and you move your fingers, you'll actually notice and feel that your bones move up to here, meaning that your fingers actually end here. So the Homo Lati's hands were actually very similar to our hands, meaning that they could use tools and they were able to use tools. The leg bones are long and slender and have the strong muscle attachment characteristic of a modern bipedal gait, meaning that these leg bones were used more for running and walking long distances than climbing. They had human-like feet, nearly indistinguishable from ours, with arches that suggest an efficient long-distance stride. Here you'll see the feet. The only thing different is the big toe, considering how long it is, which is what they're talking about. And here's the arches of their feet compared to our feet. We have those too. Monkeys do not. And then how they're similar to monkeys. Their shoulders are positioned in a way that would have helped from climbing and hanging. Their hip bones are shorter in the front than to the back, and they're different from those of modern humans. And even though their hip bones are different, their spine was actually more straight than a monkey's, because a monkey's spine is curved to handle the fact that they walk on their knuckles, but the human spine, it's more straight than the human spine. Their fingers were long and curved, useful for climbing trees, but if you relax your hand like this, you'll notice that naturally your fingers actually curve, which could be an indication that our relatives were actually monkeys. It's also been thought that the Homo Lati was able to think much like a human. They were able to use tools, weapons, instruments to make work easier. And then there's the burning question. How did all these fossils get down that chute in this cave? Well, Berger says that they were able to realize and understand death. And when the monkeys died, they threw them down the shaft to dispose of their bodies, which is why their bones were so scattered, because it was such a long shaft that, you know, anything could have happened when they hit the bottom. Now, how is that for some smart and critical thinking of a creature some believe could not be capable of such a thing? And these new discoveries are what has been released in the papers, making for new information on our ancestors and our evolution. Now I have this is a picture of them throwing down the dead bodies down the shaft. Now I have a small video just so you guys can get a better understanding of the human evolution. It's just fun, and I thought it would just be fun for all.
Did you bring the milk?